you think that negative emotions have more intensity than positive emotions? Whenever we feel something negative, the reason those things are amplified, the reason they have more intensity, I would say, is because negative emotions have more power because there's a lack of resolution. When you feel something positive, you feel like it's been resolved, right? I engaged, I saw something, I observed something, I liked it, yay, I'm happy, let's move on. Versus something that you don't like, something you have a problem with, something that's affecting you and upsetting you. When you see that, you're like, I don't like this. I can't change it. I don't know what to do to change it. So I'm just feeling stuck. There's no resolution. And so it sits with you longer. And as it sits, it festers. There's this parable of the two wolves. I am sure I'm going to butcher it right now, but it was an old man telling his son something, basically saying that, my son, the battle is between two wolves inside of us all. One is evil. It is anger, envy, jealousy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, etc. And the other is good. It is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, all of these things. The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, which wolf wins? The grandfather replied, the one you feed. You know, and that, I think, is really important for us to keep in mind. It is, what are we feeding? When we have something that is positive in our life, do we marinate that? Do we enjoy it? Do we speak about it? Do we amplify it? Are we feeding that good side, that positive emotion? Versus when we feel something negative, when we're upset, how often, and I will speak from experience. In my past, when I was upset, I could be upset about something for a while. Like, I could talk about it all day. Every single person I talk to, I'll bring that up. That whole week will go and I still haven't found the resolution. I'm still complaining about it and upset about it. And I'm feeding that wolf. Whereas when I have a really great moment, I mean, even my open house last week was a success, right? Like, I still work on appreciating, taking time to appreciate the good and talk about all the good things that happened. And it's not about stroking the ego. It is about acknowledging your own efforts and appreciating yourself. So for me, most of my life, and we do this to ourselves to improve. I get it, right? We feel something great and we're like, okay, cool, felt great. Let's move on because I need to grow. I need to work. I need to be better. And so everything that I'm struggling with is what's going to help me get better. Yes, to a degree, but how are you approaching it? How are you communicating it? How are you speaking to yourself about those things too? And that's what I feel. Like, our power of our negative emotions is because there's a lack of resolution. We can't find that resolution with something external. And so we have to really work on it internally first. Problem-oriented versus being solution-oriented. And I will tell you my approaches for this. My first approach is context versus isolation. The tendency for me to really sit into whatever negative thing I'm feeling is a result of isolating it. Is looking at it and saying, this is just the worst thing ever. This is my worst day. I can't believe this person did this and how rude of them and blah, blah, blah. Like, everything is super isolated to that moment. Context means putting that entire thing into context. I'll give you an example of, like, personal relationships. Like, I've had romantic relationships where I've experienced this the most. Good things happened and they were great. I still remember good times with someone I was dating. But whenever we had an issue, man, we really talked about that issue. And it started to feel like what was in the relationship was just issues. When in reality, there were so many good things, but we never spent the time to acknowledge them and appreciate them. We just spent all of our time, when it came to discussions, right? Conversations, deeper conversations, we talked just about the negative. And that was something I had started to take forward into other relationships, especially romantic relationships, because it's nice to enjoy and appreciate and have fun and love and all of those things. And we can do that and we can feel that somebody appreciates that love and joy and and feels happy with us, right? But we don't talk about it. And that's been a goal of mine, going forward, since I've learned that lesson myself. Like when I was in a relationship, I would take time every week, have a recap and talk about what were the good things? What do I appreciate about you? I don't care if I'm repeating myself, because you know what? If I'm repeating myself, that's something I really, really like. And the more I tell you how much I like it, hopefully you will never let that go. You'll keep that around. Because in your head, maybe you're wondering, wow, I do 10 different things. I'm not sure what makes her happy. Well, I'm telling you, if you don't have the energy and the effort and the bandwidth to work through those 10 different things, at least you know the three that I really love, that really impact me positively, because I've shared that with you, not just by enjoying it and by smiling and being happy and giving you a hug, but by talking about it too. Just like when we have an issue, when there's a difficult conversation or a difficult experience that we need to discuss, I will communicate that too. I will talk about it in detail. But again, all the positive things. Thank you. Love that we did this. Really had a good time. Versus, you know what, this particular thing that you did really upset me, and I'm going to tell you all the reasons why. Again, many occurrences of the positive appreciative expression, right? Many, 10. One really difficult conversation spoken in so much depth and detail that the weight of this outweighs all of the good stuff. So if you just start to talk about the good stuff with the same intensity and desire and detail that you do about the bad things, you would be surprised at how much that relationship can improve.